everybody. Exciting video today. How does Mounjaro zepbound, same product, how does it specifically affect your body? How does it specifically help you? Some people, like myself, other people are a lot more scientifically minded than me. They can go read, they can retain, they can explain. I read it, I hear it, I've heard things about insulin, about metabolism. I think we all know the part about appetite suppression, but I'm excited to share with you 5 things that really helps understand the help that Mounjaro gives us. My name is Amy from amydenaeweightloss.com. I'm here at Grandma's house, so I hope you can see me okay, hope you can hear me okay. This is not my usual setup, but how lucky, fortunate, blessed am I at 50 to have my grandma still with me. So when I heard she wasn't feeling well, I bought a plane ticket yesterday morning and here I am in Houston. So this looks like a grandma's house, doesn't it? I am going to cherish this video for a long time. Okay, here we go. So I really got to thinking about this because people who have shared that they ate the exact same amount of food before Mounjaro and after, while they were taking Mounjaro, they said, why am I having a weight change? Like, I am very strict with my calories. I watch my calories. That doesn't mean that they maintain that for months and months, but I have read many accounts of people talking about how there's just something magical about zepbound because of how similar their diet was. And just recently, I brought to you a video and I talked about how for 16 days, ever since school started, I had a lot more snacks around me. And I was several times binging on the sweets, and how last Sunday, when I got ready for church and I put on a dress that hugs you and I still had a flat stomach, I just want to briefly say that we know ourselves. We've been on this weight loss journey, some of us for decades. I know what my body does. I know how my body reacts. I know the ups and downs. I know when you've been doing good and then you just get off and how quickly that weight can come back. Y'all, I know myself, and that's not happening on Mounjaro. Now, yesterday for lunch before I got on the plane, I had some rice and black beans and grilled chicken and peppers and onions. I'm not saying I'm eating junk food and I'm not gaining. Like, I am really caring about healthiness, about making sure I have fruits and vegetables, but there was definitely an uptick in the snacking, and it should have shown up because it wasn't minimal. It was not minimal. So let's get right to it. There are 5 big helpers here that I want to share with you. So we're losing weight and we're keeping it off, but how? So people commonly mentioned these 5 things. I read them from doctors and from people online, but I am not a doctor. I am a 4th grade teacher. So definitely talk about these things with your doctor. Look them up for yourself. But my preparation for this video, I am too much shy of being on Mounjaro for 2 years. It was really helpful for my understanding, and I hope it's helpful for you too. Okay, here we go. The simplified version. Number 1, Tirzepatide, which is the main ingredient in zepbound and Mounjaro, is a GIP and GLP-1 receptor agonist. Receptor agonist, reception. So in a football game, when you make a catch, when you make a reception and you get 7 points, that's a catch. That's a reception. A receptor. I really loved John's explanation once. And he said, my son, who has never had an issue with like eating a meal and then feeling full and weighing what he's supposed to weigh his entire life, he's got these receptors. He's got these receptors. The messages that his brain is getting, he's got these receptors. They're catching the message. He's hearing it. Do some of you feel like your little tiny baby baseball mitt has been this big? You can eat and binge and overeat, and you're just not getting that message. You're just not getting that I'm full message. One of my best friends is on her 3rd shot of Mounjaro. If you've been there, you know, she said it's night and day. I don't even want the snacks that I was eating for years and years and years. I don't even want them. At the teacher breakfast, what I used to have a plate full of, I just have 1 or 2 and then I'm good. So these receptors are definitely playing a role. Is it why tirzepatide is more effective than your semaglutide, your liraglutide, which only has one receptor? And what about the triple agonist? It's in FDA trials right now. Okay, let's move on. Number 2, it triggers insulin creation. Another way to say this is it suppresses your blood sugar and stimulates insulin production, which makes it easier for your body to burn fat as fuel. Now, John wouldn't have had to read that. John would have read it. His brain would have comprehended it. He would have just looked up and just said it off the cuff. Me, I'm like reading it word for word. I think some of you are going to be able to better explain this than I ever could. But there is something going on. I'll talk from my personal experience. There is something going on with me that is taking this food that I am eating for the last 2 weeks, and it's doing something much more effectively than it's ever done it before. Small dress, flat stomach after 2 weeks of eating too many calories. Wow. And 3, one of the things I think we hear about most is how you have that feeling of being more full because it slows gastric emptying. Or you might understand it as at the same time that the drug is doing other things, like the messages that our brain is getting, like the role that insulin is playing. At the same time, it slows down your digestive tract so you get full faster and stay full longer. That's been completely awesome. I came here in tears on days 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, like, what is going on? I have never felt this before. This is amazing. I'm not battling food. I don't have the food chatter. Some of you ramped up into your 10.0 or your 12.5 dose before you felt it. That's what all the doses are for. We all have a little bit of a different chemistry. We are not cookie cutter versions of each other, but you found your sweet spot. You found your dose, and then you started feeling this amazing feeling of being satisfied after a meal. I hadn't felt that to the extent that it made me cry tears of joy. It was that much of an exciting phenomena. And number 4, now let's talk about metabolism for a sec. It also increases lipolysis. I went and looked up the pronunciation of that. OlYsis, lipolysis. So you're truly breaking down fat faster when you're taking this medication. And this ties into insulin, but it is increasing your metabolism. Is anybody else getting excited? This is so neat. It's a huge blessing that it's here for us and that so many of us are on it. The last 15 summers, I have went to Jamaica. I have taught the kids in the summer. It's a third world country. They're really working to get the things their family needs, including food. Sometimes getting those highly nutritious foods, that can be more expensive. And so just like here in the States, there are a lot of people who could benefit from these drugs, and they are not there yet. So I just try to remember to be so grateful for what we have. And I have to say, the 5th help are our lifestyle changes. And yes, it works in many ways. It works on your movement. It works on you really trying to combat that muscle loss, your cardio, your weight training. It takes having balanced portions, getting excited about healthy, colorful foods. Have you noticed that the most processed foods, they're all gray and brown? Lifestyle changes and really nice. You can have a big healthy meal on maintenance because you're not snacking all throughout the day. You're not having gobs of empty calories like I was on all my little carby and desserty food. So as we come to the end of our video today, I want to encourage you, please, if you want to add to anything that I've said, and I would really appreciate those of you who are more scientifically minded that want to go into depth, explain anything a bit further. The educational journey that I have been on, thanks to these weight loss drugs and the changes in my body and the connection with this community, that education has been one of the smartest and best things that I think is going to keep me successful into the long term. It's great to understand yourself better and understand what's going on here. The difference between what was happening back before Mounjaro, it wasn't that I was just a big loser who wasn't trying hard enough. Yeah, it's great to understand these things better. Okay, everybody, from Grandma's house, that's been our video for today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.